So to kind of tie it together, what are the actual keys to success if you want to learn a language in about 10 days? So again, I took more than 10 days in Thailand, but by the time I'd spent 10 days, I was pretty conversant. So I basically did it. And you could make, if you do the same thing with an easier language, you could probably make 5 times as much progress, literally, because it's at least 5 times as hard to learn Thai versus, say, Spanish. So what are the keys to success? How can you do it? Well, the keys to success, and by the way, it helps if you're traveling alone, as I've mentioned a couple times, it's easier to do all these things, but put in consistent effort. You don't need a lot of time, you just need to do it consistently. So even if it's just 10 or 15 minutes a day of like studying and practicing on your own, and then you go out and you practice, basically. So putting in the consistent effort, like doing it some each day, makes a huge difference. Another one is to use all your senses. Don't just look, don't just listen, do all of those things. Look, read, listen, talk. Talking is the hardest part, so make sure you do that. And anything else that you would, even if you want to use like kinesthetic movements to help you remember stuff, it's probably not a bad idea. Use the 80-20. So focus on the most useful, most practical vocabulary. Like spend your time on that versus like stuff that you might need to use once in a blue moon. Practice. So I read this book called Ultra Learning. And they made the point, if you're learning something new, you need to try to use it in real life as soon as possible while you're learning. Don't study for a year and then go try to use it. Use it on day one. Use what you learned on day one. And so that goes along with what I'm saying, which is make sure you practice. Like go out there and look for even small opportunities to practice. Just do it. Don't be afraid. People aren't going to laugh you off the street. They might chuckle once in a while, but it's get over your embarrassment and just do it. You got to practice. And then number 5 is use repetition. So in other words, review things. So when I would write things down in my phrase book, I wouldn't know it right away, but if I reviewed it even just 2 or 3 times, then that was enough that I would be able to recall it when I needed it to use it in a conversation. So if you apply those 5 principles, there's a good chance you can make a ton of progress, even if you just do about a 10-day trip or experience or whatever to try to learn a language such as Spanish. And if you're currently trying to learn Spanish, I've got some more resources for you. Here's a video that goes over how to pronounce all the words in Spanish, because that's really important, right? That would make it way easier than what I was doing in Thai, where I just had to listen and memorize everything. And here's a really high-yield playlist with beginner Spanish topics, such as the most common words, which is something you want to learn if you're trying to learn Spanish. So check those out. I'll catch you next time.